This is a demonstration of the AIDOC tool, which is an artificial intelligence-based tool to reorder spreadsheets. If you have some spreadsheets that you're using for sifting and you've already identified some relevant data in it, you can use this tool to find more of that relevant data within your spreadsheet, which should make it possible to discover relevant rows of data quicker and to possibly sort of avoid screening all of your spreadsheet by already having discovered all the relevant data earlier. So you can navigate to the AIDOC tab here in the HS Tools app that is accessible online. So you can go and you can browse files. So the input to this is a CSV file. So if you browse the files here, you can just select any CSV file that you have on your computer. I'm usually using UTF encoded CSV files. So the first step is that you need to tell AIDOC about the data that is of interest. So if you look at your spreadsheet here, this is the demo spreadsheet, you can see that this is some funding records and that we have information like, analysts went through this and included some of the records. So they said yes or no, or some of the records they haven't screened yet. Those are the blank ones. And they've also assigned things like an NIHR remit. And they have some other things like health categories and so on. So what you might want to do in a spreadsheet like this is a smaller one. It has about 800 records. You might want to go look at all your includes and then reorder the whole spreadsheet based on these includes and to basically get the most likely not yet screened references to the top. So that's something that we're going to do now. So first of all, we have to tell AIDOC about the data that we want to prioritize. So that's the column of interest, which in our case is the include column. So it automatically looks up all the column in your spreadsheet and just gives that to you as a drop down. And then you have to tell AIDOC what's your variable of interest, because in the include columns we have empty fields, which is here as a nan, but then we also have no and yes. So we are interested in all the records that have a yes at the include column. Now, the next step is one of the most important ones, and that's the reference column. So what we have to tell AIDOC is which reference data to look at to determine whether something is an include or not. So this works best usually with some short information such as titles. So if we select the title column as a reference column, what AIDOC is going to do is it's going to look at all the titles that have a yes here, and it's going to look at all the titles, all of the other titles, and then it's going to compute how similar is each of these non-screen titles to your screen titles. So in the end, what you end up is with the most likely relevant titles sorted to the top. So the rows will be reordered in the spreadsheet. So this is something that we're going to do now. So we're going to look at it based on the title column. And this is now where the artificial intelligence or the AI happens, is that AIDOC is going to look at the title column and it's going to take every single title and encode it in a machine readable way. And this is something that may take some time because AIDOC is currently running actually on a free server. So that means that if you have bigger documents, this is going right now to take longer. So what I'm doing here now is just 800 records, so that is relatively quickly. And so you can see here that we have now reordered everything based on the title. So this now has reordered the most likely relevant title to the top. But we don't always just need to use like an include or an exclude column. we can look also, for example, at the remit field. So remit, that was the NIHR remit. There have been, I think, 6 or 7 remits filled out in the spreadsheet already. So as long as an analyst, you've identified at least 1 or 2 records for any column in your spreadsheet, you are then able to use AIDOC to prioritize on that one. So, for example, there's a gut health, microbiome, nutrition column. And the good thing is, as long as you now select the same column as reference data again, AIDOC is going to remember the data that it has already computed, which means that now the spreadsheet is reordered much quicker. So you can see here that the first and the fourth rows, there are some new data. Everything else has already been sort of sifted. But you can see here that what AIDOC ordered to the top for like health, nutrition, microbiome is something like feeding and the immune system. And the other column that is new here on top, that's number 14, short chain fatty acids, microbiota. So we can actually also make this as a full text, as a full screen, makes it easier to look at. So as you go further down the spreadsheet, you will see that there's many rows that haven't been screened yet. And this is all about microbiota and things like ingestive behavior. So we can see that the tool has actually worked quite well to reorder things to the top that are for sort of gut health and microbiome. So everything, all the most relevant stuff is on top. And if we go to the bottom, this is now where you find the least likely relevant sort of information. So we have things like nail for the reconstruction of large bone defects, livestock malaria control on a Zamba island. So this is likely highly irrelevant for IO work. So, and then similarly, so you can go and you can reorder this as often as you like. And you can also download the spreadsheet here. So if I download this right now, what is going to happen is you're gonna get all the data that you uploaded into the tool back, just that the rows are going to be reordered. So your relevant info is to the top. So even if you now go and you say, so that you want another remit. So for example, I want now the artificial intelligence remit on top. As long as I keep the title column here, it's not really going to prioritize. It's not going to recalculate the values, but you can see here already sort of deep learning things are coming up, artificial intelligence is coming up, machine learning cluster is coming up. So yeah, you can basically reorder the spreadsheet as often as you like, and then you can just download it here. At which point it's going to load for a little bit, and then the download window is going to come here, and you can just save it in your download folder.